Today is 8th of December 2015. I went to teach about mindfulness with detachment or mindfulness without attachment. We must understand that the practice of mindfulness is not to reject and not to attach, to use only, to do only, without attachment. The object of the mindfulness is the present happening of our body or mind. Present breathing is also one of the objects to be mindful. We must understand that the object of the mindfulness is also not to reject and not to attach, to use only, to experience only, to know only, without attachment. In our daily life, we have to be mindful on the present scene or present sound or present time or present place or present situation. In this case, we must understand that these objects of mindfulness are also to use only, to experience only, to know only, not to attach and not to reject. We must be careful. Each of the present action of mindfulness should be only to the present happening, not to the past and not to the future. The past happening is not existing now. The future happening is also not existing now. That's why we should not be mindful to the past and future happening. The present happening is true, real. That's why each of our mindfulness should be only to the present happening. We must understand that even the present action of mindfulness itself is also present happening. Both the object and the subject are not to reject and not to attach, to use only, to do only, to experience only, to know only. Meditation is mostly concerned with the mind. We must be careful on each of our mental action. The habit of our mind is always focusing on living beings or non-living beings, one after another. Sometimes the mind may focus on the past experience. Sometimes our mind may focus on the future happening, which is not still happening. Sometimes our mind may dream of the future. The habit of our mind is doing everything. Some are good, some are bad, some are right, some are wrong. That's why we need to control our mind to be able to do good things only, not to do bad things. If we can control the cows, the house, we can use them for our sake. So also, if we can control our mind, we can use that mind, which is free from attachment, free from ignorance. Whenever we do our physical action, we need to be careful not to do wrong, just to do right. When we are speaking, we have to be careful not to speak wrong, not to make mistake, but to be right speaking. So meditation is trying the mind to be able to use in the right way. The practice of meditation is practicing the mind to do good and not to do bad. In this way, the mind can be clean and pure and free from ignorance and attachment. Now let's meditate about 1 hour under my guidance. Keep our head and body upright. Don't let our body weight heavy down to the ground. Close the eyes gently and relax the whole body and mind. Some of our physical, verbal and mental actions are not necessary. Some are wrong. Abandoning unnecessary and wrong action is also one of the practicing meditation, one of the doing good deeds. The practice of sitting still without movement for 1 hour must be used to abandon our unnecessary or wrong action. If we have strong attachment to unnecessary or wrong or extra action, we cannot sit still for long time. That's why the practice of sitting still for a few minutes can reduce our attachment to unnecessary action. The desire to do action and the desire to meditate and sit in position are attachment. Both attachments are needed to detach. Using attachment as attachment is wrong. Using attachment as detachment is right. Using ignorance as ignorance is wrong. Ignorance is wrong understanding or non-enlightenment. In our daily life, we are using wrong understanding or wrong view as wrong view. That's why we are always making mistakes in our daily life, in our daily activities. Each of the wrong understanding must be changed to right understanding. Using right understanding, right view or enlightenment is right. Upright our body and head, trying to sit like Buddha statue. But we must relax body and mind. Just be mindful on the present happening of our body or mind. Natural breathing is also one of the objects to be mindful. We may be mindful on the present breathing, or we may be mindful on the present happening of the mind. The object may be different from the others, but be careful to use right understanding, which is the object, the subject, and the present knowing are not to reject and not to attach, to use only, to do only, to know only, to experience only. Each of the action of our mindfulness should be guided by right understanding. We must detach from wrong view or wrong understanding by using right understanding. If our ignorance and attachment is too strong, it is difficult to accept or to understand right view or right understanding. We must understand this cause and effect. We must continue to use right understanding very well, every time and every situation. Teaching right view to the people is difficult for me. So also, learning right view from me will be difficult for the people. But we both are doing good. We both are doing right. That's why we both must continue the action. Only enough practice can change from difficulty to easiness. Only the practice more and more can make difficulty less and less. There's no choice. We must continue doing good deeds. In the beginning of my own practicing meditation, I faced a lot of difficulty, but I don't stop my practice. I continue more and more, and then there is no difficulty. In the beginning of my teaching about meditation in Myanmar language, I faced many difficulties. I cannot explain even in Myanmar language, but I try to teach every day. I have to face a lot of failure in my teaching, but I understand it is because I'm not used to teach like this. So the problem is teaching meditation is not my job. With this right understanding, I continue to teach, and teaching in Myanmar language is not difficult for me. Teaching in English is also very difficult in the beginning. The more I teach in English, the less difficulty time after time. I explain my experience because I understand that there is no I, no you, not mine, not yours. That's why my experience may be useful for you also. If there is good cause, there will be good result. If there is bad cause, there will be bad result or effect. We cannot change this cause and effect. We may experience difficulty or easiness when we do good or bad. The situation of difficulty or easiness is not important. As much as we can do good, we can experience good results. The more we do bad action, we must suffer bad results. This is true for everyone. That's why we must continue to do good, and we must stop doing bad. We should not take care of the situation of the mind, the situation during our action. We should not take care of the time. We should take care of to continue our right action. We should protect our action of doing good deeds. If we are able to do like this, no one can disturb us not to get good result. If someone is making mistake or wrong, no one needs to punish him. Only his continuous action of doing bad will cause him to experience his own decay. If we understand the truth, we can be free from anger, we can be peaceful, we can be mindful. Only our action not to make mistake. We must be mindful on the present happening of our body or mind. Besides, we need to be mindful on the right view or right understanding. Not only to meditators, but also to the people in the society, to practice, to be able to be mindful on the right view. In this way, they can make less mistake. If the right view is controlling our action, we can understand what is wrong and what is right on each of our action. Try to meditate with right understanding for 10 minutes, and then we will stop our practice.